following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
Welcome aboard, ladies and gentlemen, to the Department of BS. From the beaches of lovely Long Island, New York, my name is Dan Cruz, and it's time to BS. Part of the Belly Up Sports and Belly Up Media Networks. You can follow the show wherever you get your podcasts, on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Good Pods, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music. Follow the show's TikTok page at Staniel Smooth for clips. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads at Staniel Smooth and at Time to BS Podcast. Don't forget to like, follow, share, and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcast. And for those watching on YouTube, don't forget to just join the party, join in the comment section, just have a good time. We encourage you here to engage in the comments, and for the love of God, be nice. I can't stress this enough. Like Tony Soprano. I can't stress this enough. People, be nice. It's a comfort zone. You know what I mean? Doesn't mean we can't spread nonsense and chaos and God knows what. But, gotta stick with the plan. It's a family show. What are you gonna do? You know what I mean? It's...
Why? Because them, that's why.
Yeah, that's why. That's exactly why. Where's that other button? I can't seem to find it.
Starts a conversation like that. I just sat down.
There it is. So, I want to start things off by just spewing what's going on in my head and everything. Because I appreciate doing this program. I love doing this program. It's one of my favorite parts of the week where I get to come on here and spew some nonsense, spew some chaos. And we're going to talk some sports, obviously, because I kind of have to at this point. I'm also going to talk about, what's going on in wrestling. There's some nonsense I'm going to get to for BS of the week. But, I don't know. I've been under a bit of stress, tense. I'm trying to just loosen things up a little bit. And I want to bring back this segment called Bro Yoda. It was one of my favorite things I did for a little bit because I could just give some tips while also helping my rear end out at the same point. Wasn't a bad thing at all. I could just sit back, spew some knowledge and just have a good time. While also just spin my usual brand of nonsense. So I want to get to that. But we begin today's shintacular, or whatever the heck you want to call it, with the Smooth Report. This is the Smooth Report, our weekly news segment here on Time to BS. Giving you all sorts of news going on in the sports, media, wrestling world, and others in between. '49ers defensive end Nick Bosa, who's also the former defensive player of the year in 2022, has torn his second ACL in his career. Bosa will miss the entire 2025 season, and the Niners' injury struggles continue throughout the last few years. The 0-3 New York Giants bench quarterback Russell Wilson for rookie Jackson Dart. Russell Wilson, with the exception of Week 2's Moonballs performance in Dallas over the Cowboys, has struggled thus far for the Giants. Russell Wilson, since leaving the Seahawks, safe to say, not doing too good. Dart was selected in the first round of April's draft. The Los Angeles Kings' Anze Kopitar will retire at the end of the 2025-26 season. Kopitar has over 1,400 games under his belt, which is the most in Kings history, and is second in points with 1,278. And finally, a day in Venus is longer than a year on Venus, lasting 243 Earth days, while its orbital period is only 225 Earth days. This is because Venus rotates extremely slowly on its axis. This has been the Smooth Report. Alright, shut it off. Thank you. Jesus. Let's engage some comments here. Yeah, it's probably the end of Russell Wilson's career, which you hate to see it, but let's dabble in this debacle, shall we? Russell Wilson, since being traded to Denver in 2023, I want to say 2022, has not looked himself. He hasn't. And, part of that is, the systems he's been in with Nathaniel Hackett and Sean Payton in Denver, Mike Tomlin's in Pittsburgh. He looked okay with Pittsburgh. But I don't know what happened. Maybe he just got married to Sierra and that just tore his career down. No? All right. The crickets have come out for me, I guess. But I feel sad for Russ, but at the same point, I don't feel sad for him. Because at the same point, he did this to himself. Hey, Deez, how you doing, girl? As much as I want to feel bad for Russ, he forced his way out of Seattle. He did. Now, more reports have since come out over the last several years or so about how he wanted Pete and John fired. John was probably unjustified. Pete was maybe justified, depending on who you may ask. You know my thoughts on the Pete Carroll debacle, and we'll get to him and the Raiders in a bit. But he hasn't been himself. And you're right. You're right, Mafia members. This might be the end of Russell Wilson's career. It might as well be. And it stings to say that. But at the same point, I don't know. It hard to tell. Hard to really tell. We'll get to week 3 of the NFL season. What chaos this year has been so far. Week 3 was amazing. Week 3 was incredible. I will start out by saying the Raiders have no idea what in the world they're doing because they hired Pete Carroll as their head coach. Let me preface by saying this. Pete Carroll, sure, is a good coach. Pete Carroll, sure, may be the best coach the Seahawks have ever had. Sure, Pete Carroll won the Seahawks a Super Bowl, but one of his greatest flaws is that he was very, very stubborn. Oh, God, just so stubborn. To the point where it was agonizing. Because your defensive head coach in Pete Carroll, why is it your defense has been so consistently bad? Just so bad. To the point where his last few years in Seattle, they were on pace to be the worst defense in NFL history. Just god-awful. And he gets hired by the Raiders early in the offseason period. And deep down, I said to myself, good luck. You're going to need it. The Raiders lost 41-24 in Washington this past Sunday. Geno Smith, because, of course, wanted to be the guy in Seattle. He was not viewed as the guy. And so far, John Schneider looks like a freaking genius. Because of course he does. He did throw 3 touchdowns. But the Raiders as a whole just couldn't get anything going in their running game. Ashton Genty has not looked like his Heisman frontrunner self. Brock Bowers, not himself. Trey Tucker had 145 yards and 3 touchdowns. Okay, Brock Bowers is one of the best tight ends in football. How in the world he only has 38 yards against this Washington defense beats me? Don't know. I'm going to say it right now. I'm going to say it right now on this program. I'm going to say it right now. Should they do it? Don't know. The Raiders should fire Pete Carroll after this season. They should. They absolutely should, because now at the same point, Vegas is not going to do anything realistic until Mark Davis sells or the family just decides, hey, we're going to kick you out of ownership because good God, Raiders, just good God. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, D's perfectly. If you're a defensive coach, your defense better be good. Shock of the day. See, his last few years in Seattle, his defenses were terrible. Yes, the 100% of Genty's rushing yards have come after contact. This is true. Ryan, thanks, bro. Be nice until it's time to not be nice. Yeah, sure. I don't know. I look at the Raiders and you look like they look like a mess. They look like an absolute mess. You know who else is a mess? The Giants. Oh, good God, Giants. Oh, good God. I know Jackson Dart was named the new starter earlier today. I'm well aware of this whole debacle over here in New York. Well aware. I see this thing every day. The Giants are a mess. And the only reason there are 2 reasons why Jackson Dart's the starter. 1, Daboll's trying to save his job. Good luck. And number 2, Russell Wilson's been terrible. Minus his moonball performance against the Cowboys. He's been awful. And for a majority of the last, 4 years, he's been He's just been meh. You know what I mean? He stinks. And that stings as a Hawks fan because you want your former quarterback. I mean, say what you want. I want Russ to succeed because there's still a little piece of me that's like, oh my God, just please do well. But then there's a majority of me that's loving this because I'm a cynical little effer. I want to see Russell Wilson suffer because he kind of did force his way out. I'm a chaotic little demon. Why?
Why? Because them, that's why.
That's right, Dave Chappelle. Family show, Ryan. Yes, family show. You know why? Roadhouse. You know why this is a family show? Because it's that time. Punch your tickets because the BS Express is in full force. Grab your tickets. Grab your drinks. Drinks are free. Everything's free. But you're stapled to the seat. You are stapled to the seat and then JB Weld to the seat as well. That is not fun. And if you could try and take your pants off to remove yourself from the seat, you can't. Why? Because the BS Express is in full force. It's in full force, guys. It's in full force. All right. Cut it out. Cut out. Thank you. I want to give sympathy to the Giant fan base, but Brian Dable, Joe Shane, I mean, maybe Joe Shane can stay. But the Mara and Tisch family, since winning the Super Bowl in 2011, the Giants have been a perennial dumpster fire. It's bad enough that the Jets are a dumpster fire because, listen, we here in the Department of BS view the Jets as a perennial punching bag, but even though we feel bad for the Jet fans, the Giants have had it systematically worse since 2011. I mean, good freaking God. You look at at least the Jet fans have some slimmer of hope because every 2 years, it seems they go through a new regime change. And it's like, okay, maybe this time this regime change will work. But with the Giants, it's the same dang stuff every year. Every year. I'm not even a Giants fan. I'm a New Yorker, but I am not a Giants fan. You can't keep losing like this and expect change to not happen. Now, there goes this running joke here called who takes the biggest slice of blame pie? Is it Dable? Is it the players? Is it the GM, Joe Shane, or is it ownership? They're all culpable in this room here. Every single one of them is culpable to a fault. To me, it's ownership. Because you can't keep hiring the same type of general manager and bring in the same type of head coach, essentially. Pat Shurmur, Joe Judge, Brian Dable. Good freaking God, Joe Judge. I mean, but like, it was bad enough when Ben McAdoo was the head coach. Like, we love to throw some flack at Tom Coughlin for his later years as Giants head coach, but at least they played hard. Okay, each of these guys that have been brought in since then, the Ben McAdoo's of the world, the Pat Shurmur's of the world, the Joe Judges of the world, like all those guys, they can't sniff their boot. They can't even strap Tom Coughlin's boots. And Coughlin should have been fired 3 times over. But he may be the second best coach the Giants have ever had. Actually, that might not be up for debate. Yeah, because it's a family show, keep your pants on, yes. Okay. Dable is only good as an OC when Josh Allen's his quarterback. Okay. All right. Last thing on Dable because I need to move on. Because I want to get to the Rams. I wanted to talk about the Rams. Josh Allen was made by Josh Allen. Okay? There's been this recurring joke here on this podcast called the Church of Josh Allen. As you can probably guess, I'm a Seahawks fan, not a Bills fan. But I love me some Josh Allen. Okay? That man can sling it. That man should have been a 2-time or 3-time MVP by about now. The only reason Brian Dable was a head coach is because of Josh Allen. The only reason Brian Dable got an offensive coordinator job in the NFL is because of his time at Alabama. Like, Josh Allen was made by Josh Allen. Seriously, like, this isn't a hard concept to figure out. Like, I see that you are a very member of that very church. I understand that. So it's a great time. There's cookies everywhere. Cookies and bagels and pizza and wings. It's a great time. But Josh Allen was made by Josh Allen. Okay. Los Angeles, the Rams. You had this game, too, which made this even funnier. You had this game won. Which made, oh my God. So, Jack, who has been a recurring guest on this program for a long time now, diehard Rams fan. I texted him one thing and one thing only. You should have won this game. The Rams had this game won. And it wasn't the fact that they lost, it's how they did it. Okay? Okay, not even the Rams. Philadelphia. Philadelphia had every single reason to lose this game. Offense didn't do squat. Defense couldn't stop squat. Special teams couldn't do anything. Oh my God, the knuckleballs by Josh McCarty. Good God. I've never seen so many delightful knuckleballs. Why is the Old Spice whistle not on here? Yes, it is. I was going to be very sad if that wasn't the case. It was a very sad man. The Rams had a 26-7 lead at halftime. I thought the Rams were going to just blow the doors off of Philadelphia. They probably should have. They should have scored at least 40 on this club. But they didn't. They didn't. Here's what I will say about LA. Los Angeles, with the exception of signing Devontae Adams, has done nothing in free agency. They are banking on this exact same core, which, until the 38th tiebreaker in a row, was not winning the NFC West last season. Seattle was. Okay? A lot of people were picking the Rams to blow the doors off of the NFC West because the Seahawks have signed Sam Darnold, and there's a gigantic question mark in his name. And the Rams just brought everyone back, and people say, oh, they're loaded. Like, no, they're not, okay? The Rams are not loaded. They're not, okay? The Rams have two great players on defense, Braden Fisk and Jared Verse. They have a bunch of dudes on defense, and their secondary is good. No debate there. Secondary is good. Yes, D's, the Rams choked. It's not even the fact that they choked. It's that I'm going to use the late, great Dennis Green in this whole thing. The Rams were where we thought they were. The Rams are where we thought they were. They're frauds. They are frauds, okay? Matthew Stafford is not the same quarterback when he got there. He's not. He's been hurt multiple times. He's older. He's been beaten up. But I'm not saying we need to have a serious discussion on Sean McVay, because we're not going to get to that point for another 3 or 4 years. But we need to have a serious discussion on the fact that, oh my God, maybe there is a distinct possibility that the Rams are not great. It's still early, but they should have destroyed Houston week 1. They should have blown the doors off of Tennessee the next week in Nashville. And they should have mopped the floor with Philadelphia. By the way that game was going, they should have. By the way, the Rams also had an opportunity to kick a late game-winning field goal, which was blocked by Jordan Davis in return for a touchdown, so the Eagles did end up winning that game by default. Good God, Rams. Just good God. Are the Rams frauds? Yes. You know who else is a fraud? Speaking of nonsense, Kansas City. Okay? Kansas City. Boy. It's like they sold their soul for those. Hold on. It's still early. Hold on. Hold the freaking phone for 5 minutes. Hold the phone for 5 minutes. It is week 3 of the NFL season. We're not going to say that the Chiefs are a bad team. I mean, they did lose granted, a good Charger team. And Philadelphia, which is not as good as they were last year. The Giants defense, pretty good. I watched that game. The Giants offense is god-awful. Kansas City is not great. It's almost like I've been saying they're frauds for the last 2 freaking years. Wow, who would have thought? Incoming Chiefs fans entering the comment section going, what do you mean the Chiefs are frauds? I'm telling you. I'm telling you this. I'm telling you it now. The NFL, the rest all 31 other teams have figured the Chiefs out. You get Mahomes running. You put pressure. You put a lot of pressure on this guy, and he's just an average quarterback. Yeah, he's great. He's still a great quarterback. No debate there. But you get a lot of pressure on this guy, he turns into a pumpkin. Why? Because he runs around in complete circles like a chicken with his head cut off. You talk to any average defensive coach, they'll tell you, yeah, get this guy running. Get him running. His greatest weakness is his legs. Ironically enough, his greatest strength. But I did watch also week 1 when the Chiefs were in Brazil to play the Chargers. And I watched them and I went, wow, they're not good. They don't look good. They don't look like game wreckers. Yeah, Ryan says it perfectly. We're at the point of the Chiefs dynasty arc that the defense, not offense, is winning them games. The defense is costing them games too. Like the Chargers are 3-0. Chargers are 3-0, but there are times where I look at the Chiefs defense, I go, okay, where is Chris Jones? Where's George Karlaftis? Where's Trent McDuffie? Where are these guys? Where are they? Like, they're not. I will use a team like, throw my boys in there, the Seahawks. Seahawks defense is, you're winning with the defense. When you get to the point of you're winning because of your defense, there's a problem. There is a problem. Like, okay, Ryan, the 2010 Jets. Okay, 2009. You got to the AFC Championship game twice with that defense. Not because of the defense. You also had an all-pro running game with LaDainian Tomlinson, Sean Green, and them boys, good receivers, not great receivers, but good receivers, and Mark Sanchez, who didn't stink. I still miss Mark Sanchez. That man is gorgeous. Let's be real here. For real. That man should be an Old Spice commercial. But you won with that running game. You won with that defense. When you get to the point of you're winning because of the defense, that means the other half of your team is not great. It's not. Look at teams that have great offenses and terrible defenses. You're winning because of an offense, not with the offense. It's a team sport. This isn't a hard concept to grasp. Oh my God. Jeez. Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Good to know. Got delightful text. Like, yeah, like excluding Brandon Marshall, Santonio Holmes, Dustin Keller, Jericho Kachi, Braylon Edwards, like, yeah. You're winning with these guys. You're not winning because of them. Anyway, we'll get to some wrestling. We'll get to some hockey. We got baseball talk to get to. But as we know, Ryan, this show is so not free. Time for some ads. Be right back. This show ain't free, so time for some ads.
Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at RighteousFelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky.
That's right, lads and lasses, whoever may be listening, watching, because, live stream. Use the promo code BELLYUP in all caps for 50% off your order of various jerky flavors at RighteousFelon.com. I hear an alarm going off. Where is it? I hear a clock going off. Ryan, Do you know what time it is? It's ring time. That is right, ladies and gentlemen. It is ring time, the return of our wrestling segment here on Time to BS. There's been a bit of news going on, not a whole lot in the world of nonsense and BS, and you know what? I will point out we do have a new world champion in the women's side of professional wrestling, in the WWE side. I should have added more context to that. Stephanie Vaquer has won the women's world title over Io Sky at WrestlePalooza, the most recent PLE. It's almost like we knew this was coming for weeks. Whoa, we did. Let's be honest here. Naomi, when she vacated the title because of pregnancy, by the way, congratulations, you love to see these things. Where's that delightful sound? Yeah, pregnancy. Delightful. We knew this was coming because Stephanie Vaquer is a freaking star. She is. Yeah. La Primera. Yeah. Delightful. Thank you, Ryan. Steph is awesome. She's awesome. It also helps the fact that she's, gorgeous and stuff. My fiance would agree. She's gorgeous. I don't know what they're feeding the people down there in Chile. Good Lord. Just everyone looks gorgeous. This just the women, the men, just what are they feeding them down there? Anyway, I digress. But she had a gorgeous spiral tap, which made X Division AJ Styles so proud. And pins Io Sky to win the vacant women's world title. Oh my Lord. She's good. Okay, let's also be real. She's going to hold this title to next year. I don't see anyone topping her, and that's the unfortunate part because you can't put the title on Rhea again because then it seems like you're overbooking this woman. The only one that could realistically come close is they decide to put Julia in the women's title picture, which they should, because Julia is also a freaking star. She is a freaking star. She is. Yes, Deez, she is a bombshell. Of course she is. This brings into a never-ending debate here on wrestling Twitter, which I'm unfortunate to be part of. I hate it. I hate it here. I hate this planet. Do you want to know why Stephanie Vaquer is women's world champion and not, all due respect, Bayley or Nikki Bella or, bad example, but Raquel Rodriguez? Is because Stephanie Vaquer at this particular time is a freaking star. She's a star, okay? Tiffany Stratton is going to drop the belt at some point. Not because she's not a star, but because right now she isn't over with anyone. And you can't keep sticking her in feuds with Nia Jax every other month. Because after a while it gets old. Okay? So, Stephanie Vaquer is a star. Do you want to know how you get paid handsomely in the wrestling business? Your job as a professional wrestler is to have great matches, cut great promos, be safe in the ring, and get over with the crowd or get heat with the crowd. If you get nothing from the crowd, good God, you're dead man walking and you're carrying cross. Don't say it. I know you people want to say it. Karrion Kross got over with the crowd, and then when he got matches involved, he got nothing from the crowd. Okay? Stephanie Vaquer gets over with the crowd almost every freaking week. It's almost like she's doing her job as a professional wrestler. Wow. Yeah, Ryan enters the room and says, Tiffany Stratton's booking since WrestleMania 41 has been god-awful. They never built her up after being Charlotte and Flair. It's almost like Charlotte Flair was the kiss of death. It's unfortunate. Now, I'm not a professional booker or promoter of wrestling, but I do know my stuff here and there, and I understand, going to the school of Jim Cornette. Like, this is basic wrestling school 101. You got to get over with the crowd, and her booking's been terrible. Has been Tiffany Stratton, but Steph's booking has been great. And also because she's a freaking star. Speaking of star power, Perth, Australia will be host of WWE Crown Jewel. And in the John Cena retirement tour, there's been one match, actually two, Edge, that has been sought after by fans for quite some time. One of them is AJ Styles. The other one is the aforementioned Edge, now Adam Copeland in AEW. Well, part 4 of AJ Styles and John Cena has been announced for Crown Jewel. It is official, made by Triple H himself. Where is that? Where is it? I can't. You know what? This deserves 2 buttons.
What?
One more.
Woo! Yeah, baby! That's what I've been waiting for. That's what it's all about. Woo!
One more time now.
Whoa!
I love that sound. This is going to be great. Now, obviously, AJ's significantly older than he was in his previous incarnation with WWE, but this is great. This is great. They're going to put on a banger in Australia. I can't wait. I don't have ESPN Plus, but who cares? I just want to see the highlights at this point. I'm pumped. I'm really excited. AJ is one of my favorites from the old TNA era. I wasn't the biggest Cena fan in the world, but recently he's caught on for me, and it's been nice to see. So I love the fact that AJ and John are running it back for round 4, and I can't freaking wait to see this. Speaking of Australia and Crown Jewel, we do have a champion versus champion match, not title versus title, but champion v champion. Seth Rollins, the World Heavyweight Champion, will battle Cody Rhodes, the undisputed champion, in Australia for Crown Jewel. For the Crown Jewel Championship, which means absolutely freaking nothing. Which leads me to believe that CM Punk is going to cost Rollins the match. Which will lead to the inevitable Royal Rumble victory of CM Punk, which will then challenge Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight title at WrestleMania 42 in Las Vegas. This is a hill I will die on. I will die on this hill. I think it's happening. Actually, it's all but guaranteed it's happening. Because since he cashed in Money in the Bank on Punk, did Seth, it's all but happening. Let's be real here. Let's be freaking real. It's just... Department of BS, what do you think? Because this is happening. All right, that was ring time. Couple more things we need to get to before we close up shop for the day. But as per usual, we need to get to an ad break because, as we know, is this show free? No! It's not. Time for some ads. This show ain't free, so time for some ads.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan from No Credentials Required to talk to you about one of our newest partners at Belly Up Sports, SeatGeek. Yeah, live sports is great on television, but the feeling of being at the arena is a priceless experience. That's why our friends at SeatGeek are there to help you find the best tickets at the best prices. Not only can you get tickets to sporting events, but you can also get tickets to concerts, comedy shows, musicals, and more. Search for your desired event now at SeatGeek.com, enter promo code BellyUpSports at checkout, and you save $20 off your first purchase. SeatGeek. Life's an event. We have the tickets.
I can already sense Ryan's presence in this room. Use the promo code BellyUpSports in all caps to get $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek.com or the SeatGeek app. And sure enough, let's check the comments. No, it's not. It's D's. Shocked. Follows Ryan. All right. Yeah, you got to pay the bills. Because of course we do. I'm pumped because hockey season's approaching. Preseason's going on right now for the Islanders, and the Islanders have hope. I don't want to get my hopes up for the club, but they're trying to drag me into it. Matthew Schaefer looks like an absolute stud. One preseason game in against Philadelphia, he looked like the best player on the ice. Like, by far. I'm pumped to see what Emil Heineman can do. Who was one of the players who's the player they got from the Noah Dobson trade to the Islanders. Maxim Shabanov, who they got from the KHL. A lot of Russians on this team, which is cool. You'll have to see that. Because, good God, the Russians can play. So that and the Swedes. You would think that the Swedes would be okay at hockey. No, they're fantastic at hockey. Don't believe me? The Sedin twins. Are they Sweden? Are the Sedin twins from Sweden? I don't know. I don't have time to Google this. But I want to give a lot of hope for myself as an Islander fan. Because I think Schaefer's going to play full-time NHL minutes. It's almost guaranteed. Stefan Rosner of NHL.com and the Elmonters website, I asked him, and even he was like, the chances of him getting NHL minutes are very high. Very high. He is outplaying the veteran defenseman. He's he's fast as a defenseman too. The only reason I don't say this is a full-scale rebuild for the Islanders, the only reason, is because you have majority of their top core locked up to 5 or 6 or 7 or 8 year deals. Unless Sorokin gets traded, knock on freaking wood, they're not rebuilding. It would be an absolute miracle if it'd be a travesty if they rebuild it. But I have hope, and I'm excited. I want to see what this kid can do in regular season minutes. I'm just, it's nice. It's nice to see. Just give me some Islander hockey already. Where's the goal horn? I can't wait. I can't freaking wait. I can't wait. There is an ever-growing debate in baseball. You know, we talk about the MVP as, most valuable player. Baseball, it's weird that way. Because you can make an argument for Aaron Judge being the MVP of Major League Baseball. I know Ryan's in this room because he's the Yankee fan here in this department. And I'm recently getting into the Mariners, and it's very exciting. The debate on Cal Raleigh versus Aaron Judge, the American League MVP. Okay, so let's look at the statistics, shall we? Between Aaron Judge and Cal Raleigh. Cal Raleigh stats versus can't spell, Aaron Judge. Okay, so This is courtesy of Stathead. 153 games, Cal Raleigh versus 146, Aaron Judge. 170 hits for Judge, 141 for Raleigh. Home runs, 58 for Raleigh, 49 for Judge. RBI, 121 in favor of Raleigh, 105 for Judge. Stolen bases, 14, 12 for Judge. The only difference I can, realistically say, okay, Judge has the edge, is that he has a batting average of 326 to Raleigh's 247. Okay. Great argument here. Cal Raleigh should win the MVP. The Mariners, if not for Toronto, the Mariners have the best record in baseball. Well, in the American League, at least. At least in the American League, thank God. Definitely not in the National League, because that belongs to Milwaukee. But they're probably not going to catch Toronto. Maybe. They're 3 games back of the Blue Jays. The Yankees are 2 back of Toronto. If, by the grace of God, the Yankees have the best record in the American League, then Judge gets the MVP. But the grand argument of this whole thing, do you know who had the previous record for most home runs by a switch hitter? 55. Mickey Mantle. Hall of Famer, Mickey Mantle. Arguably one of the greatest players to ever play this game. Raleigh broke that record. Also, he currently has the most home runs in Mariners history in a single season. Broke Ken Griffey Jr.'s record. He's got 58. Junior had 56 in 1 year. He's a catcher also instead of an outfielder. Also, Judge is like 6'12". It's not fair. Like, it would be, if Raleigh doesn't win the MVP, it's all but blatantly obvious that New York baseball is biased. The bias is strong with the Baseball Writers of America and ESPN and so forth, but this is ridiculous. It'd be ridiculous if Raleigh doesn't win the MVP. It'd be ridiculous, but I don't know. You can also, you're winning with Cal Raleigh, you're not winning because of him. I don't know. It's hard to tell, really, at this point. Are the Mariners for real? Abso-freaking-lutely they are. It's nice. I love it, because I love how excited Mariner fans are, because this team has just been so freaking good. They've been so good. They're going to win the American League West, which is nice. They're going to have the best. They're going to have the second or third best record in the American League. They might have a first round bye, especially if they keep climbing in the wins column. They're probably not going to catch Toronto, but they're there. They're there, which is nice. What else we got here? BS of the week. Oh, this could be fun. Let's time for our new favorite segment of BS of the week. Bullshit! This week's edition of BS of the week, Jimmy Kimmel. Again. Okay. Before people lose their cool and say, why are you discussing Jimmy Kimmel? Because he got reinstated. I will keep this brief. I will keep this short. This is, for obvious freaking reasons, not a political show. I refuse to talk politics on any podcast that I go on or that I run. Refuse. Because it is a cesspool of stupid. It's a cesspool of stupid. It's a cesspool of arguments. Who cares? Thank you, F you, bye. Jimmy Kimmel getting reinstated is... If you don't know the context of it, I suggest you do some Googling. Because out of context, you're like, why is Jimmy Kimmel getting reinstated? But in context, you're like, why the heck is Jimmy Kimmel being reinstated after that? I'm a little annoyed, but at the same point, it's not in my control. And I'm thankful to God I don't have that control. But it's kind of BS that this guy who has been a deliberate piece of crap, no matter what he says. Granted, it's part of your job as a comedian is to piss people off. I think Chris Rock goes to bed every night and says, I wonder how many people I pissed off today. It's part of your job as a comedian. There is a delightful thing that we all struggle with called failure to read the room. Jimmy Kimmel read the room poorly, causing his suspension to take place, which inevitably took his show off the air of ABC. Amidst backlash, I guess ABC brought him back. It is very annoying. It's very annoying. All of it is annoying. Because it's stupid. It's absolutely stupid. That's all I'm going to discuss. I don't like to talk about that stuff because that's not who I am as a person. It's not. It's not who I am. Which brings us to this next, the last topic of this program for this week. One of the, I guess you could call it, one of my favorite topics I talked about was Bro Yoda, which was this character I created to, I guess you could call it, give pretty decent advice. I'm not the wisest tool in the shed, but I think I give some pretty good advice. So, mental health talk with Bro Yoda. And there is a good chunk of our lives that is being infected by social media. You know, you have to wonder what's the next Snapchat streak or the next news going on Twitter or what people are doing on Instagram. I miss a chunk of our time where we could just go outside and just catch up with people or call them on the phone. I have contemplated deleting all social media off my phone and just keeping it on my computer for what feels like weeks. It's really been months or years. I haven't pulled the trigger for a couple reasons. One of the reasons because I keep forgetting. But number two, it's because it's right there. It's convenient. Deez is smart. I tried to stay off social media. Yeah, I try to, but it's right there. So if I could, offer a piece of advice, Ryan has been a perfect example of this, where he just went off into the mountains and did mountain stuff. I wonder what mountain stuff is. Moonshine? Probably. I hope it's moonshine. Ryan probably does moonshine. I don't know why. Just gives moonshine vibes. But if I could offer, I don't know, a piece of tip or advice or whatever, it'd be disconnect from the world and reconnect with yourself. That would be my tip of the week. Just look back at your life. Just look back and see, okay, what can I disconnect from today? I have strongly considered just deleting everything off my phone. Deleting all my social media accounts. And just sticking with this or sticking with gaming or, movies or whatever. I haven't found the urge to do it. But one of these days I'm going to find myself doing it. And I think that's my final thoughts for the week. Just disconnect from the world, disconnect from everything. Go off the grid if need be. That's easier said than done, but try it. Just try deleting social media and reconnect with yourself. Reconnect with things that make you feel better. Reconnect with things that make you happy. And take the baby dog for a walk. Yeah, I don't have a kid yet, but I don't have a dog right now either. But I got the cat. Cat works. But whatever. I guess my final thoughts would be just, life's precious, man. Life is so precious. And take advantage of this delightful sphere or half sphere that is this world. Enjoy life. Enjoy while you can. Because some scary crap going on out there. Just ignore all of it. Just focus on the things that make this world awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it. Wow, I can't speak. That'll do it for this edition of Time to BS Podcast. Be sure to like, follow, share, and subscribe to the show wherever you get your podcasts. And however you may be watching, however you may be listening, my name is Dan Cruz. I'm coming to you from the beaches of lovely Long Island, New York. I'll see you all in this life, and most certainly the next one. Cheers, everyone. Have a good night.